welcome into Writing to Heal. Boy, do we have a doozy to talk about today. Something I've mentioned a few times, and we're going to dive in a little bit deeper, or nay, climb the spiral staircase tower a little bit taller. Let's rock it. Hello, everybody. Welcome on in. It's good to see you. Welcome back to the Writing to Heal podcast. My name is Jenna O'Malley. I am your soul writer, author of sci-fi fantasy with dashes of romance and nerdy references. Alongside the raw healing stories my characters weave throughout time and space, I help other soul bards reset their soul to where it needs to be, getting people to enjoy stories because, well, that's what our stories and our souls all thrive on. How is everybody? So, ever wonder, what can you do to build yourself up while you go on this really treacherous journey? We're going to be looking at that today. Jess, hello. It's good to have you here, my friend. Glad to have you here. Cool Gamer, good to see you. I hope you're taking care of you, my friend. So, definitely so. Writing is healing. This is something I've believed since I was younger. On the basement level of it all. On the basement level. I believe that all of us have a voice that's worth going on a journey and expressing that journey to its best potential. It's why I, instead of becoming an author to begin with, took a side quest and became an English teacher. I took the road lesser traveled, or rather, I took the easier staircase. I took the shorter tower. Spiral is important here, okay? Sometimes at the top of that tower is a lighthouse, to be fair, but a spiral staircase runs up to it usually. Whether the steps are literally circular or they blocked them off on squarish platforms. What are you doing to yourself to lock yourself onto a particular level or floor by making the ceiling too low? By making the staircase too easy to climb? Therefore, are you not even taking the correct path of stairways? For some of us, it doesn't spiral, or it doesn't feel like it does. For some of us, it feels like an M.C. Escher painting, or like something straight out of the Jim Henson's movie Labyrinth, right? Which way do I go? Which is the correct set of stairs that'll get me to the next level? That's why writing routinely can be very healing. Even if we write fiction, I think we're healing some inner child part of ourselves. The spiral staircase will have you loop past that. It'll come up again, not just in your plots, not just in your characters, not just in, oh, I'm visiting this trope again, seriously? But it'll come up in your blockages. When I coach writers one-on-one about getting back to writing or about their writerly and author businesses, this is something that comes up again and again. I am healing, I am learning about me additionally. These little things keep coming up that I keep tripping over. I feel like I can never reach this deadline. I overpromise and pressure myself into under-delivering. I don't charge enough for my services or for my books. I don't participate in marketing opportunities. You see how the offshoots, the reasons to go back the other way and travel down a level They're all over the place, okay? They're all over the place. Speaking of the MC Escher paintings or even Jim Henson's Labyrinth type setups, sometimes things are unfairly stacked against us for the sake of us seeing that it's us unfairly stacking stuff against us on our own terms. Okay, this is really heavy for some of you because some of you are going, yep, I'm procrastinating by distracting myself. We call it procrastinativity, right? I'm going to go over here and do this thing that is just as productive, but now, I mean, yes, there is something to be said about taking the time to pull out from the painting or the movie and say, bird's eye view, where's all the pieces moving in the cogs here? It's one thing to treat it like a map and get a better view and bearings there. When you're spiral staircasing, you are literally going to revisit certain skills again on a new level. Sam, hello. Hashtag guilty as well, my friend. Welcome to my table. Hashtag guilty as well. This is literally something I've been going through this past week. I have chapter 46, chapter 47, chapter 48, and the epilogue left to post to Ream Stories later today. It's the 5th time I will have done this in the last year. It's the last time. And I'm stalling. Each of these last chapters is a goodbye to the characters I've been writing. In case I'm not gonna cry. In the case of Neftiri, I've been writing for her since I was a teenager. So this reaction is teenage me freaking out that this is happening. While adult me is going, oh my God. Yeah, throw the onions away. Exactly this. Throw the onions away. Oh, the dogs were terrorized by the vacuum. See, this was me earlier. This was me earlier with the cats. And this was me a year ago. This was me a year ago. Sometimes you just gotta stop planning. Sometimes you just gotta stop putting destination points on the map and travel the spiral staircase to get to the different points. It's okay to know a couple of moves ahead of yourself. All good chess players do. Therefore, all good writers who are also, or authors who are also business owners should. In my opinion, a writer is an author is a writer. You pick whichever one you want to call yourself. I call myself both because I am both, dang it. That's what I choose. At the same time, you can make this choice. The hardest part is, and this is something I've been talking to a lot of people a lot lately about. It's been coming up again and again. Taking another step on the road means it's one step closer to being in someone else's hands. So why not do this? Let me chase the shiny new plot ideas and fit the everything. Because I need to make sure it's perfect. And then it has the everything. It doesn't need to be perfect. This is not going to be your first book. And it's got me a long ways to get here to accept this is not going to be my first series. It feels like a lot. Are you fearing going to the next step? Moving to the next level on that spiral staircase tower? What's so scary about it other than it's just the next step? You get closer to the, oh my God, other people are going to read it. That is a scary block. that is a scary block. It plays right into scarcity as far as like not necessarily financial from upbringing. It does sometimes include that as part of the foundations in our towers. If there's a light at the top of that tower to be a lighthouse, though, you don't want those blocks in there. Sometimes you gotta pause on the level you're on and you gotta fix the room. Gamers, you know what I mean. This is why Link gets the random quests to go help the lady in the middle of town to go help the chicken collecting stuff. This is why in ESO, some of the most beneficial quests are literally, can you come in and help me get this thing from one point to another? You know, they have good rewards for a reason. You're fixing somebody else's spiral staircase foundation. You're helping somebody else move through something that could be painful, that could literally be what is hanging them up. And normally where we hang up ourselves is we move on to the shiny project because we're unwilling to do a couple of things. One, it's okay for it to get into somebody else's hands eventually. That's the end goal of all this. How else are you going to be the famous author you want to be if that's your goal? Two. This is a biggie. Where aren't you giving yourself credit? Where aren't you pausing and going, look, this next level is scary. And I have some cracks in my foundation, but that's okay. I can't jump to the shiny plot point until I admit that overcoming the next step that is needed is where I need to go. You're kind of parenting yourself a little bit in that way. Jess, your characters are already trying to tell you about a spinoff. Then you know what? You keep a list of notes. You spend 20 minutes writing down that idea as a premise. You tuck it away. This is why I love the subscriptions-based model and using Ream stories for my books, because I have this issue. I literally have a spin-off set of novels called, or novellas and whatnot, called the side quests for a reason. They don't exactly fit anywhere on the main quest line of the story, and they're not gonna all shiny fit in, and that's okay. The people who really do love the characters are gonna want those side questy stories. They're gonna want to know what Arya's, the King of the Fae's personal guard, gets into in the middle of World War II, knowing that they ride off into the sunset okay for that to happen and be there. You get what I mean? Great idea. Not right now. You've become very good at giving this to people in your life to respect your space when you're writing. You need to do it with your characters sometimes too. Sam eyeing mists. Is that your one that's on Kindle Vella? Did you port that to Ream Stories? Wasn't because these characters weren't bored, because I wasn't. Yes. Yes. This is exactly why Frey disappeared in the middle of book 2 and caused me to have to write this upcoming novella I'm writing this summer. This. Good. Good. That's where it needs to be, I think. I think you'll find a lot of people who will love that kind of storytelling over there. And for me, it really just does go back to, what am I willing to do to move it forward? What am I willing to do to give myself credit? First and foremost, I have all these great ideas. Good. I'm writing them down so they are later me's responsibility. Notice how I worded that. They're your responsibility, just not right now. You can put that on your quest giver list and in your quest journal for a later day. Okay? You need to follow through to the end. So to those of you who are facing a little bit of the hang-ups, give yourself credit where credit is due. I'm working my butt off. Are you giving yourself too much? Do we need to make a doggy bag out of this dinner plate? You see what I mean? If so, do it. Please do it. But congratulate yourself. You have the ability to generate these ideas. Now, how can I get them into where I'm writing? Okay? Because sometimes we will plot and plot and plot, but we never dive deeper. And then all of a sudden, somebody else is writing a book under the same title we had picked out. Or somebody else is writing the same thing. Or somebody else is doing exactly what you're doing in your coaching. Or somebody else is doing like literally, these are things that I've had to face in the last year of I doubt myself. Had I just given myself the credit, I probably was going to be more likely to do as Mel Robbins said, put my butt in the chair and do the thing. Because Mel Robbins tells us, it takes you 5 seconds to say no, and then 5 minutes to convince yourself at minimum to turn that no into a yes. So why say no to yourself in the first place? Why say no to yourself in the first place? What content are you feeding yourself on the routine that continuously makes you doubt yourself? I love video gaming. I love anime. I have really had to check what kind of content I'm subconsciously plugging into my system with the types I was watching and consuming for fun as a relaxation reward. Because some of them topics get heavy. I mean, this is why I really, really have to watch what I consume and balance it out with and what I redirect toward the self. Yes, this is okay. Because later you is not going to be one person. It's going to be however long you live. Number of days and years versions of you. And that's okay. They deserve to have fun with this project just as much as now you is. So now you has worked hard enough. Let future you enjoy some fun too, right? Someone published, I'm not a hero, and it's, oh, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. Yes. See, someone out there has a Bound by series. Yeah, and I'm like, I can't. I don't have the time nor finances to repull and change all of the titles and the covers again. I'm just going to leave it. What can I do, right? It's fine. It's fine. I don't call myself the Bound by series. I call myself the Myrna Annals anyway, right? But you can see where I'm like, dang it. So definitely so. How much are you slowing your own progress down by not allowing yourself to go through what needs addressed on this level with the skill you have? This is why in math class, supposedly, pedagogically, they like you to learn a little bit of everything one year, and then the next year, double down on it with a review. The third year, double down on it with a review. It doesn't always go that way. But that is how a lot of curriculum for math, science, and even now some ELA courses are being built. They're teaching you that learning is not linear. It's not. And honestly, if you're showing up to this conversation live or on the replay, you're not a linear learner anyway. You're a spiral staircase learner anywho. Why do I say that? Well, you're a lifelong learner. For every single person listening in live or on the replay, you didn't stop learning when you left school. I'm sure you didn't. Jobs call it training, orientation. We call them workshops. We call them courses. How many of you listen to podcasts? How many of you have taken a freebie course or workshop with anybody on YouTube, in or out of AuthorTube or BookTube? That's part of your spiral staircase. That's okay. That's a classroom on that floor, if you will. This. I was in high school when they mapped out the human genome the first time to the end. They've now done it how many times since the early 2000s? A lot. And it's those of us who are, I don't even want to say it's strictly just those of us who are neurodivergent, because you don't have to be neurodivergent to believe in the spiral staircase, and it's okay for me to misstep and still continue onward. It's not like in K-12 where they pass you based on your grade is your age, right? You got to earn some of the credits. You got to give yourself some of the credit for you to go to that next level, or you're never going to get up to that next level and stay there. You might have to go back down to a level and finish up a skill quest that you did not finish the first time. Okay? Or it might be, I keep mentioning tree trunk rings, right? When you cut a tree and you look at the rings. So what if you had a really skinny year? Did you learn something? Then it wasn't as skinny of a year as it looks. You know, if 10 and you stop studying it. Bingo. Yeah. Yeah. We are not perfect. This is, I'm, a lot of you actually in this chat are taking the, is it the Conscious Business Accelerator or the Conscious Coaching Accelerator with Full-Time Purpose? That kicks off tomorrow. And literally, I keep coming back because it's part of my spiral staircase now. Matt, Victor, and Aaron are like a checkpoint for me every couple times a year, because I need to get my ego kicked. Why? Because she's audacious and she needs it once in a while. It's my way of checking myself. Now, I'm also going to admit it's part of my spiral staircase because I am also healing as the daughter of a narcissist. So there's a lot of CPTSD that I'm healing in that. And you know your skill resources to work on those things, right? Sam, the wood around a lightning strike. This is very true. This is extremely true. It's the toughest to get through because it's been burned. And sometimes visiting the parts on our spiral staircase that have been burned, we often reburn ourselves again if we don't learn the lesson. Yeah. This is where I often say I need to stop opening my mouth so wide and insert my big size 10-foot. Because we often realize that this was a test and I failed in that regard a little too late. But at the same time, you're strengthening your learning for the next time you need to put in this rep. This is why it is so crucial for an athlete to spend as little time laid up from an injury as possible. Because you want to strike when the lightning is hot. You want to get it in there and get it healing in the correct way. So that way you don't lose your mojo. Lightning can strike. Let it hit the tower where it's going to hit, because you cannot control the lightning strike. Can you turn that tower into a bottle and catch it, though? You might light your lighthouse at the top if you give yourself the credit enough along the way and catch that lightning if you go that direction, I think. So, spiral staircase, you're on it. It's not an escalator. It's not an elevator. You gotta climb. And sometimes you're going to have to make inner child you, inner teenager you, put on some dang-em hiking boots and walk behind you. And you're going to have to be that parent. And you know what? That's tough. That's really tough. That's not easy. So when it gets tough, who can you go and hang with on that level or near it to refill your well? I look forward to seeing some of you tomorrow with Matt, Victor, and Aaron, and I cannot wait to hang out with you more. Please take care of yourselves. What credit are you giving yourself as you level up? Not just at the end of each level, the end of each day, end of each week. In the little moments where it matters most, how are you loving on you? Because you deserved it from the beginning.